Hey everybody, welcome back to Tim Travels. It's Terry, your host, coming to you from Commerce, Georgia. So we had a load we brought down to the Houston area, and then we picked up a load over in Baytown, Texas, and took it out to Plainview, Texas, and then we picked up a load in Amarillo. I think it was yesterday, and we dropped it off this morning in Georgia. No, it wasn't yesterday. It was 2 days ago. Dropped it off this morning in Georgia. But on the 15th, so 3 days ago, we were leaving Houston with that load that went over to Plainview, and I was driving on I45 North, and I used to go down there fairly frequently when I was with Knight, and I was always just like, man, this place, the traffic is crazy, and drivers are just super unpredictable there. And lo and behold, came upon an accident on I45 that had shut the highway down just north of the Woodlands area there. And I'm going to upload a link to a YouTube video that was shot by, I guess, a reporter guy. It's just a raw footage, but this accident started out when traffic slowed, and a guy from KB Transportation, because I drove right by his truck when we went around, because we basically exited and got back on, used the service road, and he was just failed to stop, slammed into a Forerunner, I think, and plowed them into the back of a loaded flatbed. And I think that flatbed was Maverick, but it could have been Hunt Transportation, because it was a burgundy tractor, and I couldn't really tell when I was, when we were just kind of going by trying to get out of there. But and that caused like 3 other vehicles to be involved. And fortunately, at least as of when I just looked a couple of minutes ago, there were no fatalities. But it was a horrific crash, because I don't know if this guy was going full speed, but the Forerunner was obliterated. I mean, you couldn't even tell what it was when you drove by it. Like, you just knew it was a pile of metal, like a crumpled giant foil ball. And I don't know how. I don't know how that happens. I mean, the speed limit is 65 there, which maybe is a little high. And people do cut you off. I was cut off several times in the Houston area. It's just, but I looked it up too, because I was like, is it just me, or is this particular city metro area just crazier than other places? And it turns out it kind of is. They have a lot of really horrible high-speed crashes in the Houston area. I attribute part of that just to people driving like maniacs. There's a ton of truck traffic, but that's kind of common in a lot of big metro areas. But one thing that I noticed in Houston that you don't see other places, because it's a horrible idea, is every freeway in Houston seems like it has those service roads beside it. And so when somebody exits from one of those freeways, they usually exit at full freeway speed, because there's really no deceleration lane parallel to the through traffic lanes. That's bad enough if you're already on the service road. You just need to watch yourself. But the other problem that's really much worse is that they don't really use acceleration lanes for on-ramps. The ramp just comes it comes in at an angle, but there's no parallel lane for accelerating. So people just come straight into a lane of travel. Well, you know, when the speed limit's that high, people are going to be moving even faster. And so a lot of truckers, myself included, we avoid that right-hand lane due to that. So, but there's a left-hand lane restriction, so that basically piles all the trucks up either in the middle or the two middle lanes, depending on how the road's configured. And then if you're out on the Katy freeway, it's like 5 or 6 lanes, depending on what part you're on. But what I noticed was there's this concentration of trucks in the middle lanes. And what ends up happening is that people, and almost always, I probably got a dash cam video, almost always without signaling, will try to cut between like two semis. Let's say there's two semis and they're 150 feet apart, which is going to be too close. It's not 2 seconds, but let's be realistic here. They cut in between trying to get to their exit. And you know, the other thing I noticed that you don't, like in Los Angeles, all the freeways constantly have signs updating you on how far exits are away. But I don't notice that really in Houston, where you know what exits are coming up. And so people are like diving from the left lane across the center or 2 center lanes to the right lane to get to their exit. I saw that repeatedly, either directly in front of me or in front of other trucks. And that all works great. Not really, but it all works great until there's a slowdown that's unexpected. Now, I will say this. What started this 5-vehicle wreck with 2 semis in it was apparently a vehicle in the left lane that had broken down. And I say that's what started it. What really started it was this truck clobbering the vehicle in front of him that had slowed and smashing them into the back of another semi, and then that same truck careening off and collecting up 2 other vehicles. So that, I mean, the driver there is going to be, he's going to be found liable. I just don't know how it's going to turn out any other way. So anyway, I'm not a big fan of going down into the Houston area for that reason. It's like I said the other day, it's like Los Angeles. I said it was like Los Angeles with more humidity, but maybe it's more like Los Angeles with worse road design and signage. But anyway, it's sobering. And by the way, yesterday in Arkansas, we were still in Oklahoma. We saw a truck that had gone way to hell off the road, out into the woods, and the cab was obliterated by a tree. And that truck was from Superego, which, I don't even have an opinion on that name. But that's not the first one of their trucks that I've seen in a situation like that. They have a lot of lease operators leasing to own the trailer, and they're always driving fast. And I don't know if they're driving tired or what's going on, but yeah, it's just bad news. So anyway, we're gonna grab a load here down south of Atlanta later today and get it up to Ohio, and then we'll just see what's gonna go on. But it's the week of Thanksgiving is coming up. I mean, basically, today's Thursday. Thanksgiving's a week from today. So if Thanksgiving week, as far as traffic goes, is not starting today, then it's probably starting tomorrow on Friday. And so from now until next week Sunday, the roads are going to be crazy. There's a lot of people, candidly, that weren't able to go visit family a year ago for whatever reason. So A lot of people traveling over the next few days. The weather's nice here in Atlanta today, but it's going to be like sketchy down the road, especially as you get up farther north in the East Coast. So towards the weekend, that is. So anyway, please be careful out there. We don't want anybody getting hurt, and we'll see you next time on Tim Travels. Bye.